Guys, welcome back to another episode of the MFC Approach podcast. It's been a minute since we talked to you all, and I've had a few people reach out actually and ask where the podcast has gone. So I really do appreciate the support. I'm glad that you find value out of the episodes that I have posted thus far, and hope to do that again today. I'm super excited. I'm excited to have a special guest on the show today. Honestly, like kind of from my stomping grounds up north in Cache Valley, Utah. And I'm really excited to have Tony. I didn't even ask, Tony, is it Popoca?
Yeah, you hit it. Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah.
Sweet, dude. So Tony, yeah, you live up in Logan currently, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Cool, man. I got connected with Tony on social media. Imagine that. It feels like that's where all connections are made these days. But Tony and I have a lot of mutual connections, some friends of each of ours that I kind of noticed on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. So I kind of looked up Tony's Instagram account, saw what he's all about, and am excited to talk to you more today, Tony, and learn more about you, and also, share your knowledge and wisdom with everybody else that's listening today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm happy to be here and share my story.
Awesome, dude. Well, Tony, first of all, congrats, man. I know you've had a big life-changing event happen. Do you want to tell everybody what's going on in your life right now?
Yeah, so my girlfriend and I, Cammie, we just had a baby. His name is Salem Joe.
Awesome.
Salem Joe Popoca. He's just turned 3 months, and yeah, it's been life-changing for both of us. It's our first baby for both of us, and we're just figuring out like his little routine and getting him to bed at a certain time, and like how to soothe him and nurture him and all these different things that come with being a new parent.
For sure,
but
dude.
I mean, we absolutely love it. It's been challenging for sure at times, but it's been super fun, and we both love him so much. We can't get enough of him.
That's awesome, dude. It's definitely one of the most challenging things anybody could do, but I think one of the most rewarding things by far. So I think you nailed it there, dude. Does he have a schedule? Is he pretty routine, or is he kind of all over the place right now?
He's pretty routine now. He likes to go to bed right at 8, and he has feedings of every couple hours, and we're breastfeeding, and so that's kind of been a journey in and of itself.
Yeah.
And so for her, that's been huge, just sticking to a routine. Also eating well, and just like eating well and staying hydrated has been a huge thing, and it's kind of reinvigorated kind of my interest in nutrition and hydration and all that kind of thing. Yeah. Just because this came along, and I'm like, well, we have to really pay attention to that now. So it's been a lot of good, and that's brought to our lives. And, we just, I don't know, we love him so much, and we like watching him just grow before our eyes. He's getting bigger by the day. Honestly, he's getting like a half a pound a week, and if I remember right. And he's just getting his little laugh, and he's just learning out. He's got hands and feet now. So everything is just, it's been quite a journey. And for sure it's challenging, but we absolutely love it. We're here for it.
That's awesome, bro. It is crazy, dude. They grow like little weeds, don't they?
Yeah. He's eventually going to be my little gym buddy. He's got his little gym set up right here, right next to Dad.
I love it.
Garage gym here that I'm actually recording in right now.
That's so cool, dude. I love it. Yeah, man. I mean, it's funny because when they're infants, it's cool to just have them there. Just, I mean, obviously, who knows, what's going through their head. I feel like you can't really tell, but it's awesome just to have them there in your presence and just have them chilling. And as they get older, dude, now our oldest is 3, and we have twins that are 14 months now. It's just so, dude, they just love just being in the gym, and every now and then our little 3-year-old will actually try to mimic a lift. We have a little PVC pipe that he'll grab, and he'll try and press it up over his head, and it's just, dude, just the littlest things. I'm just like, holy crap, dude, you are freaking cool, and I cannot wait for you to get older and awesome. Actually have a awesome gym buddy. So anyways, man, it just gets more and more fun. So enjoy it every step of the way. Congrats again, dude, and I'm glad everybody's healthy and well.
Yeah, right back at you, man. Twins, man. I can't even imagine. That's crazy.
We're
Well,
good now, man, but the first 6 months were brutal. Like, holy cow, it was brutal. But
man, I can't imagine.
it's fun, man. It's fun. It's yep. Life is a journey, and we're just embracing it. So, um,
Exactly.
I do want to kind of ask you, a little bit more. Are there specific things you mentioned just since having your baby? It's kind of like reinvigorated, some interest in nutrition and stuff like that
Yeah.
as a whole. Anything specific, that's kind of come up for you? Like what things have been a focus and what things, I guess, are either new or that you've just kind of been reminded of lately?
A lot of it's a lot of things that I've kind of rediscovered. I kind of already knew that, protein is important,
Yeah.
um, hitting all your macros, but as well as all your micros, like getting all your vitamins and minerals and, all these different things when it comes to just feeling the body right. But especially for her, because we're breastfeeding. And so I think hydration is especially important, making sure she's got all those right mix of minerals and, all the electrolytes in that and just staying active in the gym and just keeping up with um like good whole sources of food because those are always going to be best whole vegetables, fruit, um and we try to eat as less processed food as possible because I feel like it's kind of helping her out with the breastfeeding, but it's also helping out her mental health as well, like if we're hitting all the right um food groups and getting um all the best things that are available that we can get at the store and not resorting to like cheap fast food because it's easy to like just go get something quick and cheap because honestly when I mean you understand when it comes to being a new parent sometimes you just need something that's fast and convenient
Yep.
and so it gets challenging, but it does help to have a little bit of knowledge about like, oh man, we can't, skip out on, the lean protein and we can't overdo it with the cheese, with the, the cheesy comfort foods and this kind of thing. And so, but that's been helping out a lot, just having that base knowledge and helping. I also kind of served as like our chef, our meal plan manager through her pregnancy. And so if I feel like, especially then, I feel like protein was pretty important. I
Yeah.
mean, and we we ate a lot of salmon, a lot of steak, a lot of chicken, and yeah, it might have been a little bit more pricey, but honestly, it's more of an investment in the end of the day. It's like an investment you're making toward your own body.
Yep.
Because I mean, when you feel your body right, you feel your best, and you're able to perform your best. And that's kind of I saw like pregnancy. It was like a performance, and that she had to kind of build up and prepare for.
Yeah.
And so a lot of, different, as well as just things in the gym, moving around, keeping the body strong, also kind of um, helped her just with the birth itself, but also postpartum recovery. And so, I mean, it's kind of, I've been in this for 10 plus years. I've been coaching um, strength conditioning classes. I've been doing personal training. I've worked with lots of different kinds of people, but I've never had to go through this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so everything is kind of catered toward her, but honestly, it's like it's good for both of us to do this. And so it's been a journey in and of itself. And like we both, yeah, she, I mean, she's been a trooper, and she really just drives that train, and she's just been doing so good.
That's
But
awesome, dude.
yeah, just sticking with the right foods and just with the best foods available, like the whole food, salmon, steak, and chicken has been helping out a lot, and just knowing like what kind of hydration, how much to drink. We do use a lot of these prime drinks, a lot of liquid IVs, and a lot of body armors to replenish and make sure we get all of our electrolytes. So we've used a lot of that, but just like nothing beats water. We need water.
Yeah.
Our body's largely made up of water, so we need a lot of that.
Yeah.
But and it's also one more thing I was going to mention. It also transfers right into the baby, and like he came out as a strong, healthy baby, in my opinion. And I feel like a lot of that had to do with the way we were. He may take after me a little bit, but also I know the environment, played a factor,
Yeah.
and I know the things that he had available to him, I think helped him develop into a strong, healthy baby. And he's got, you know, think now he's building up a lot of strength that kind of even surprises me even. So and
It's
like, I
awesome,
mean,
dude.
I think we're doing some things right, but honestly, it's just a matter of figuring out what, what works.
Yeah. No, I think that's amazing, dude. And I think it sounds like you guys, I mean, you've done a great job, it sounds like. And I mean, just like a common theme that I feel like I kind of heard throughout while you were talking, Tony, and just kind of telling us about your experience, over the past, I guess, year now, where your wife's pregnancy was 9 months and then he's 3 months old. Or your girlfriend, sorry, not your
Oh,
wife.
okay. No, you're good. We'll get there.
Yeah, good. Yeah, dude, the common theme though that I heard basically was this: control the controllables, right? There's so many things. I mean, just even specifically with a pregnancy, right, that are just so beyond our control. Um, but controlling the things that we can control can have a lasting impact, and I think that that is so applicable, dude, just in every person's life, not just in pregnant women's lives. I mean, even though I've watched my wife go through it twice now too, where dude, like my wife was active through all of her pregnancy. I mean, like our first boy, um we went to the gym literally the night before he was born, and my wife just went through some movements and stuff, and it just, I think it made the pregnancy and the delivery go so smoothly, man.
Yeah.
And again, not that it can't go smoothly for somebody else who maybe isn't as active, but I think there is a large contribution that was made to her pregnancy going as smoothly as it did because of her activity levels and because she was constantly or continuously strength training throughout the entire process. And so I couldn't agree with you more, man. And not only the exercise side of things, but it's like you touched on nutrition as well. It's like controlling the things you can control, dude, I think are so critical, not only in moments like this where, I mean, this is a pretty major event, and controlling what you can control throughout that process is huge. But I mean, I'm sure your girlfriend prior to getting pregnant was doing these things, you know what I'm saying? She was, her body was just prepped and ready to go, and it made this pregnancy just go so smoothly, it sounds like. Am I wrong in anything that I
No,
said?
I think you're 100% right. It definitely helps. And like, I think pregnancy is it's hard. I think it's a very hard, it's a very hard thing. And just seeing her go through it, it's just like you you can't constantly carrying on the weight, and then it hurts your back, and all these things. It just, you can't sleep, you can't sit comfortably, and then just like all these things that just they just suck. But what we did in the gym and what we did in the kitchen, I think helped out a lot. Like, it definitely helps, and we definitely relied on one of these exercise balls that I'm actually sitting on right now. We actually bought two of them through the pregnancy because we realized we were going to use it a lot through the pregnancy. And
Cool.
then, as well as, even now, the baby loves it. The baby loves to just sit and bounce on the ball. It soothes him like nothing else.
That's so
Like,
cool,
a
dude.
rocking chair can't even touch this bouncy ball.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I love it. So I mean, I guess I want to kind of talk to you, Tony. I mean, you mentioned you've had 10 years of experience coaching and training. Um, it sounds like you've kind of done like some group training, as well as, have you done like personal training as well, like one-on-one training?
Yeah, I've done both. Um, I've done both a lot. I've led different types of group fitness classes, everything from CrossFit to boot camp to cycling to yoga. I've I've taught a great number of fitness classes, and my favorite ones that I've taught are the CrossFit classes. Um, and in some gyms, it could be referred to as just strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
Um, and I used to teach a class up at USC for that, and now I'm coaching at a gym in Logan called Cache Valley Strength and Conditioning. This is actually the T-shirt
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
But I coach there now, and so it's just, it's, if anyone's ever heard of CrossFit, it's kind of a blend of gymnastics and weightlifting with mixed in with some high intensity intervals, um, and different things like that. But I've also done a lot of personal training where I've done worked with individuals one on one, varying from college students and high school students, even to all the way up to you know retired people. And everyone kind of, I've seen just the different needs that people have in the different stages of life. Um, and it's different from a group aspect where everyone kind of does the same thing, but in a personal training, everyone focuses on their own individual needs. And and that changes throughout life. Like say, you can probably relate to this. Our needs were different back when we were in college versus now being a parent versus
Yeah.
when we get older, and becoming grandparent. I think it changes, but you realize these things as you get older, and it just, yeah, it makes it never ending. Honestly, there's just an endless amount of, you know, information and help that people need, because it is kind of, there's a lot of mixed information out there, and you don't know, whether, too much, too much weightlifting is bad. Like that's kind of a misconception for women, and that's something that I'm Cammy's learning now. Is just like she's realizing how good strength training for her body, and she's kind of going against the narrative that's out there on social media, and how they portray, they have this like ideal body image for women, and I don't think it's fair. And then men have those kind of issues too,
Mm-hmm.
but going away from like, I mean, like I said, I've worked with people um that have suffered from like body dysmorphia, to people that just are getting back from an injury and just want to get back to their old selves, or people who just want to pick up their grandkids and be able to play with them, or just have a little bit more energy. And so,
I love it,
yeah,
dude.
it's been good though. I love both. I just love interacting with people and helping them out. Like it really makes a difference to, I do care a lot, and I just want the individual to be, as healthy and as fit, to make them as happy as they possibly can, because I know it
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah.
I know that's a big part of the equation for me. I know it is, and I know for other people, they, I know they benefit from it a lot, and they just sometimes need to find the right person and kind of nudge them in that direction. Because at the end of the day, you can't force someone to go to the gym or to do something, to step on a treadmill. They kind of have to draw the fire from within. And sometimes, meet the right person, they kind of nudge you in a certain direction. You find the right type of movement that works for you. Like not everyone's into CrossFit, but some people like bodybuilding, and some people like powerlifting. It's all different stuff. I like weightlifting, different sport, different needs. But I think any movement in general is going to benefit, people, because we were meant to move. Our
Yeah.
brains are mostly wired to move. And so a big part of that is dedicated to movement and just those neural connections. So I think it just overlaps into other parts of their life, and it just makes their life a lot better.
I love it, dude. I love it so much, man. I mean, I posted a little short story today on Instagram, just kind of touching on some of the things you mentioned. Um, the overlying message of just being like, there are so many opinions out there, man. It can be so confusing. It can be so overwhelming. I mean, especially when you get into nutrition, man, it seems like everybody wants to like complicate it as much as they possibly can, by saying that like one specific food or one specific thing is making everybody fat, or if you eat this, you're gonna get, what I'm saying? It's just like, it's so extreme now. Instead of just taking a well-rounded approach to the whole process, it seems like everybody has to have like that one thing they're so focused on. And dude, it can be so damaging and so misleading. And I love how you summed that up, dude. It's just, this truly is a journey, right? Like this is a
Yeah.
process. And obviously the longer you're on the path to a healthier lifestyle, the better and better it's going to get. And truthfully, I think the easier and easier it's going to get for you to continue to do that. And so I love, man, like what you said about find what works for you. I think there are kind of some non-negotiables of health, but I do think there are multiple ways to get to that end result of optimal health. And I would be curious, to get your opinion on this, Tony. Kind of putting you on the spot here with this, but some of the non-negotiables that I have for health, first and foremost, in my opinion, is a diet that is sustainable. So nothing that is like crazy extreme, nothing that is like keto or paleo, or I mean, not that somebody, I just don't feel like anybody can really maintain that long term. You know what I'm saying? So I think just a well-rounded diet that hits, like you talked about earlier, macronutrients first and foremost, but then we'll get into the micronutrients of it as well. I feel like starting at a surface level makes it so much more approachable and easy for somebody to establish that habit and lifestyle. So I mean, even just simplifying it down to calories and protein and going from there, right? Like once somebody has those two things established, it's like, okay, now let's look a little bit deeper, like what are you eating? What micronutrients are you getting enough of? What are you not getting enough of? Where can we make little changes, to get those things incorporated into your life? And so, I mean, that's one of the main things that I think is a well-rounded, balanced diet. The second thing that I think is muscle. And I'm not saying everybody needs to be as big and as bulky as they possibly can, right? But it's like muscle truly is, I think, like the foundation for a long, healthy life. Because I mean, as we learn more and more about this through studies and research, it's like people who have muscle are more likely to overcome like chronic diseases, are more likely to battle cancer and win in those fights against cancer. People with muscle are much more likely to live longer, healthier lives. And not only longer lives, but like higher quality of life. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
those two things for me, man, are like kind of the non-negotiables. It's like, I don't care who you are or what you like or how you want to get there. It's like, I think that that's kind of an approach that everybody really can take, whether it's on your own or with a coach. It's like, those are two very basic things that I feel like, should be a focus. I'm curious, what are your thoughts there?
I completely agree. I think starting with the protein, that's kind of been my battle lately, is just getting people to eat more protein, because it's just our the standard American diet is just so underwhelming with
Yes.
protein. It's
Yes.
mostly made up of fat and carbs,
Yep.
and so like, and I don't necessarily advocate for any one diet in particular. So I'm a lot like you. I completely agree that people just need to just clean up their diet. And I'll refer to Peter Attia. He's a doctor and an author, and he does a lot in the health and fitness industry. He put out a book called Outlive, and I read through it, and it just laid out just how bad the standard American diet really is, and all the problems that it can cause. But yeah, you're right. The main root of that problem is we're not hitting our macro needs, and a lot of that comes down to protein intake. Right now, a lot of people are looking for any sort of like, hack or some sort of shortcut.
Yes.
And the GLP-1 world right now, that industry is blowing up,
Yep.
or otherwise known as Ozempic. People probably know it that way.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to tell people, like, there's, if you fix your diet and move a little bit more, you don't even need that stuff. But it is just another hack, and I'm not necessarily sure what like the long-term effect of it is. And I know I'm not an expert on that, but all I know is that if you do things the right way, the slow way, and do it more for long-term benefits, like you said, it I think that's a much better approach. And so I think those are definitely non-negotiable. Just you know clean up your diet, you know cut out the processed foods, and just get more protein, because I'm a big advocate for protein. I don't even care what diet you're on, as long as you're getting enough protein.
Yeah.
I
Well,
have friends who are vegan, and I have friends who are like, keto, and I say good for them. At least they're trying something. They're trying to do something better for themselves. But as long as they're getting their protein, I'm like, teaching them how much a portion of, like, this is about 30 grams of protein of chicken, this type of thing. Like, and they should be getting enough, like what's your body weight? They should be getting at about, 75% to like 100% of your body weight in macros, in protein, I mean. So like that's pretty non-negotiable on my end too. And just with a lot of people I've met over the years, especially like with with women, they just don't see it that way. They see it as protein will make them bulky. Kind of the same thing with like, lifting weights will make me bulky, but in reality, like they probably need it more than us
Yeah. Yep.
because they're more at risk for osteoporosis and all that kind of stuff later in life.
Mm-hmm.
And so they need to be doing a little bit more weight bearing exercise, and they need to be eating more protein than they should. And that's leading to a whole cascade of problems. Um, but like, but yeah, those are pretty non-negotiable on my end too. I'm always telling people, you know, move around a little bit more. Stuff in the gym is important, but my other non-negotiable I'll add to that maybe is just more just generalized movement.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us do spend a lot of time just sitting in front of the computer, and then we come home from work and then we, sit in front of a TV. There's not much movement going on. So just increasing that activity throughout the day somehow, go out for a walk during lunch, go out for a walk in the evening.
Yeah.
For some that might be good enough, but honestly, that also plays a huge factor into our health and our long-term health is just how much we move throughout the day. Because in the gym, we're only spending like maybe 200 to 500 calories,
Yeah.
or whatever in the gym, actually lifting weights or doing cardio, which we get a lot of benefit from. But then there's 3 hours more in a day,
Yeah.
and
No,
a
that's
big part of that is rest. And like that comes to like, and then we get talking about rest and how like if we do these things through the day, we benefit, our rest gets better, we sleep better.
yep.
And then that kind of, it goes back to like how we feel and like how we're able to perform the next day. So it's all kind of cyclic like that. But I think, yeah, those are pretty non-negotiable. Just protein, or clean up your diet, weight training, and move around a little more throughout the day. And so
Yeah.
those are really my non-negotiables. And I'm always preaching to people that I work with is, as long as you do those three things, you'll be doing all right.
Yeah. I love it, dude. I love it. And I mean, even as you talk a little bit more there, I'm like, one of the approaches that I take with clients is before we really even dive into like the nutrition and the exercise side of things, well, a few of the things that I really try to focus on with them is what is your sleep hygiene look like? How is your stress management? I mean, it's just some of these like biofeedback metrics that we can take a look at and try and get an idea, like how are these things affecting you as well? Because I think just like you just said, man, like that was a really great point. And so I'm like, maybe my list of non-negotiables is a little bit bigger, but I would say no more than like 5. I mean, I think everybody can prioritize sleep, right? Everybody can. Like, I don't care who you are. You have no excuse for not prioritizing sleep unless you have a newborn baby.
Yeah, then it becomes becomes negotiable.
Yeah, but then I mean, but even then, Tony, it's like there's other things that you're doing, right, to still manage like your healthy lifestyle. It's like you realize, okay, sleep might suffer right now, but I'm going to try and manage my stress levels, by doing the things that I enjoy. Like I'm going to manage my stress levels by exercising, by moving more, by eating a good nutritious diet. And so anyways, I really don't want to overcomplicate this. I really want to keep it simple for everybody listening.
Yeah.
But it's like these are the basic things, guys. Like manage your sleep, get good sleep, good, not necessarily quantity, but maybe more so quality than quantity. I think both have a place, but it's like, set yourself up for success when it comes to as much sleep as you can get. Because like, again, right now, Tony, like you got a 3-month-old, it's like you guys are getting at least woken up a couple times a night. And so it's like when you are sleeping, are you getting the quality of sleep that you need? And so it's like, I think that's one of the big things there. How you manage your stress, like what are your stress levels looking like on a day-to-day basis? Are you managing it properly, or are you letting it get the best of you? Do you find yourself overwhelmed often throughout the day and stuff? Or are there things that you're doing on a daily basis that are helping you to manage that stress a little better? I hate throwing out the C word of cortisol, because I feel like the second somebody hears that, like, cortisol, it's bad. I got to reduce my cortisol. And it's like, hold on a second. If you don't have cortisol, like literally, I don't think you would be functioning right now. Like cortisol is a healthy thing when it's kept at the right levels. But when it exceeds a certain level, then that's when we kind of run into some issues there. And so it's like, are we managing those stress levels? Are we keeping our cortisol in a good, healthy spot? And what are the ways that you like to do that? I think exercise is a great way of doing that. But also, I think it's important that you have other ways of doing that as well. I mean, even just things like spending time with your little boy, like being with your family, going out on a hike, playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? It's like doing things that you enjoy to help bring those stress levels down a little bit are going to pay huge dividends in the end. But yeah, and then we get into the nutrition, the fitness, and I do love that you mentioned movement, dude. Movement is so critical. There's not a person, well, I feel like movement is so obtainable for just about every single person on this earth. If you can't get out and walk for 10 minutes or 20 minutes a day, it's like, then let's start there. Like let's get your step count up to somewhere between 8 to 10,000 steps a day, somewhere in that range. And just get you moving more. I agree, man. I think that these are some really good basic points to begin that people can start with. So you have any other thoughts on that though?
No, I mean, you hit on a lot of points there. Just like controlling your stress levels is, I mean, pretty important, but it also like it involves multiple things, like how much what's on your plate, how good is your sleep, and so like it's hard to kind of pinpoint like how to control those stress levels and that type of thing. But I feel like as long as you're doing stuff in the gym, you're getting outside, you're eating well, you have a community, you have people who support you, that type of thing, I feel like that can kind of help keep your cortisol levels at bay. But we do need a certain amount of stress. Like you said, it's kind of this kind of curve. We need about this much amount to function, but then once it becomes too much, then it can, it deteriorates us. So yeah, I agree with everything you said.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. I love it. Well, I kind of meant to do this at the beginning, Tony, but I am curious, like what out of all of the different like gyms and types of fitness that you have done throughout your, I don't know what to call it, like
career.
Yeah.
Journey.
I'm just curious, like what have you seen, I guess, in terms of how it's affected you and what things are at this point your focus, and how has that changed over time? Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I think it's taught me, it's made me the person I am today. Like I've always been a pretty active individual. My dad kind of paved the way for me. He was always an active individual. I remember like he put a treadmill in the house and he would use it, and then slowly but surely we started adding more and more things to our home gym, to what it's grown into today actually. And now we have this garage gym. We're renting out the basement in my parents' house, and then it's just my mom that lives here now. But we've grown this gym since probably about 2013, since when I first started college.
That's awesome.
But it's been everything. Like for me, it's introduced me to all my friends, and through sport and through fitness, all the best people that I know today, I've met through that. And it's just being able to, I feel like I can't imagine life without it, honestly. I don't contemplate it much, but sometimes I think like, what if I took a different approach, to life and didn't emphasize so much on fitness? I don't know where I'd be, and then I'm not, I don't really contemplate it too much, but I know that this feels right. This feels like what I was put on this earth to do. I want this, I want to spread this information. I'm so passionate about it. I love working with people, and so I feel like it's been a huge, huge blessing in my own life. Just helped me with my own mental health and with my own personal development. And it's taught me discipline, and it's taught me how to, take care of myself. And so now I'm, that example for other people. And it's just, and now I'm raising a baby, which I can kind of see the world through his eyes and how important movement is for him. Like, and now it's kind of starting over. Like now it's, being handed off to him. And so the message is pretty clear and pretty simple. Like, movement is important. We were meant to move. And, you know, I don't know, like if once you become, sick or not able to move as well, like say an injury or sickness happens, then you really take for granted, like, or you really like think back to like, oh man, I just want to be healthy and be able to just move around again and do simple things. Like that's, sometimes we take it for granted what our bodies are able to do. But yeah, it's, I think it's everything. I think it's very, very important. And sorry, I keep swatting these flies coming through the gym.
You're
But
good, man.
no, yeah, it's been everything for me. And I'm just here to help other people out and just helping them, you know, get to that point in their lives.
That's so cool, dude. Man, honestly, I absolutely love that so much, Tony. And I don't know, it just kind of, it made me reflect as you were talking a little bit too, man, of just how this has been so impactful in my life, and just hearing your story from a very young age, your dad starting to introduce you guys to physical exercise and activity. Man, I think that is such a, honestly, just a beautiful thing to kind of reflect on and think about. And now that you're starting that cycle and that process with your little boy, like he's going to see you and your girlfriend working out, taking care of your bodies. And it's going to, more than likely, I don't want to say, 100%, but it's like more than likely him seeing you guys do that is going to have an impact on his life and on his overall health. And for me, dude, that's like one of the biggest reasons why I do what I do. It's like, I want my boys to see me exercising every day, and I want my boys to see my wife exercising every day. It's like, this is truly, man, just like, for me, a non-negotiable, like taking care of the body that I have been given, man, like what an opportunity that is. And I think that not doing that is leaving so much potential on the table as an individual. And so, I mean, anybody listening to this who feels like they could maybe do better. I feel like I could do better in a lot of ways too, with my fitness and with my overall health, but also in other ways in life. So obviously nobody's perfect, but it's like, just start somewhere. And again, like we've kind of talked about, walking is one of the easiest places to start increasing your overall physical activity. As you were talking, Tony, it just made me reflect on, I mean, it's something that I feel like is posted on Instagram a ton. And it may have originated from somewhere specific, but it's like, you're either going to pay for your health and fitness now, like your overall health now in effort and maybe in money, in going to the gym, paying for a gym membership, or you're going to pay for it later on down the road in medical bills, in hospital bills, in those sorts of things. And so it's like, how would you rather pay for your health? Would you rather be proactive with it, or would you rather be reactive to it? And so honestly, dude, as you kind of talked about your process and stuff, like your journey, and that just kind of opened up for me and helped me reflect on my own personal experience as well. And so I appreciate that a ton, man.
Yeah, no
that was
problem.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, I think we're getting to a point where if we go any longer, people aren't going to listen to us anymore.
No, that's fine.
So
no, that's totally
I
fine.
again, dude, just want to say, like, thank you so much for being here. I always love connecting with other people who are so driven and motivated by living a healthy lifestyle. No matter where they're at along the journey. Like, I think that's the beautiful thing about it, dude, is like your fitness and your health journey is your very own, and you can't compare it to anybody else's. I think you can draw, a lot of strength and support from other people, but at the same time too, it's like you have to accept where you are and you've got to just move forward from there. And so just kind of talking through yours with you, Tony, and what you've done to help other people, just appreciate you, man. Like, this has been an awesome conversation.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on. I've enjoyed the conversation, and likewise, like I always enjoyed talking to other people who are passionate about the same thing, and then just trying to help out other people. So yeah, I'm happy to be here, and thanks for having me on.
You bet, man. I do want to just kind of give you an opportunity, Tony. Like, obviously you have Instagram. Your Instagram handle's very it's it's just your name, Tony Popoca. So TonyPopoca. So guys, go check out Tony on Instagram. Give him a follow. He puts out some really good stuff as well, just from lifting and just his lifestyle. And I love that. So anything else though, Tony, like anybody that may be in like the Logan, Utah area, like anything you want to kind of put out and share with everybody?
No, I live what I preach. I love what I do, and I love helping out other people. So if people are looking for a personal trainer or coach, I am available at Cache Valley Strength and Conditioning. They can just call or just go visit the gym there, or just go on the website and they can schedule sessions with me, or they can just reach out to me, send me a message on Instagram. And I'm happy to help with people. I'm happy to help remote or in person. I've done a lot of both, but honestly, just, just by having me on and just letting me share my story and sharing the platform with me, I really do appreciate it. I just, I just want to help people in just which way I can. And, I really had nothing more to add to that. Just, I'm happy to help out, and just by doing what I do.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, man, for being here. I think this, like I said, it's been a while since I've done an episode of the podcast, and I think this was a great one to kind of get going on again. And I feel like this burning, to keep recording podcasts now. And so, Tony, maybe one day we can hop back on and do another one, and maybe pick a topic that we both are passionate about, and maybe go into a little more depth there on a specific topic. So definitely. Thanks again, man. Appreciate you, and wish you and your girlfriend and the baby well, and hope everybody just continues to do well.
Yeah, you too. Likewise.
Awesome. Hey, well, guys, thanks again for listening to the MFC Approach podcast. Another great episode today with an awesome guest. So please, if you don't mind, follow the show, sign up for notifications on whatever platform it is you're listening on, and share it with somebody else, please. That truly is how the message of what we're doing here at the MFC Approach podcast is going to go anywhere, is from you guys sharing it, liking it, and leaving a rating and review on whatever platform it is you're listening on. So please take 30, 45 seconds to do that, and I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, I speak for both me and Tony. If you guys have any questions, anything that you would like to discuss further with me or Tony, please just shoot us a DM on Instagram, and we'll definitely have a deeper conversation there about whatever it is you would like to discuss. So guys, thanks again, and have a great day.